I just first have to say, you are going to fall in love with Jamie. She's hilarious. And she's from Boston.
Oh, yeah.
Did I say that right?
It's Boston. I was going to ask for an interpreter, but they didn't pay for it, so I apologize in advance. All right, this is for real. I'm not even joking. I'm not laying it on. I didn't watch Good Will Hunting last night. This is just the way it is, all right? So I thank you. Although I will have to say that thank God for Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, because it made people want to just, like, they didn't even, they were like, you're going to talk about maternal mental health? All right, just say, park the car in Harvard Yard for me a few times, and we'll let you in. So I am Jamie. That was my meeting with Elizabeth Warren's office there. She is my state senator. I don't know if anyone is aware as to who Lizzie Warren might be. Right? And she persisted. Okay, so I am a two-time survivor. Not only did I like postpartum once, but apparently I liked it enough to get it twice. And it was two totally different manifestations of it. And that really surprised me for the lack of information and ability to even understand what was happening. And I'm not talking, X amount of years ago. I'm talking 4 years ago and 7 years ago. So, and this is in Boston. This is in the Metro Boston area. So I was a little bit agitated, to say the least. And so I am blessed to work in the National Coalition, which 2020 Mom started. Joy's my amazing director. She's also my West Coast sister, and I'm very blessed to be here to see what's going on in California. This is great. This is bi-coastal efforts. And I myself am a commissioner. There's an actual commission in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that was signed into law, that it is the Postpartum Depression Commission for the Commonwealth, okay? Every single state should be looking, just even put on the books, okay? No one's making anything out of this other than that we have thought leaders coming together on this, okay? It's official. It was written up. It was pomp and circumstance. We get to sit in a room that's like 300 years old at the State House and look at a picture of John Quincy Adams and talk about what we're going to do to make this better, okay? So it's a lot of formalities, but it's it's getting everyone to the table. So I would encourage the continued momentum that you obviously have here to make that a formal process. All right. I know I'm supposed to hit a clicker, but does that work? No. Oh, is this it? Oh, did I just, oh my God, I thought I shut the power off. Oh, I'm like taser in my face. I don't even know what to do here. All right, there we go, okay. Sorry about that, okay. All right, how many of you know about the fact that there was postpartum legislation passed in the federal government back in December? Yes? Okay, all right. I'm sorry to give this the comparison. I don't know if there are any Raiders fans out there. I found out the hard way at Joy's house, okay? But I liken us getting the postpartum depression legislation into the federal legislation by way of the Adam Vinatieri kick during the snowball of 2001 against the Patriots, okay? So those of you who know what I'm talking about, or when the Red Sox finally beat the Yankees, whatever, it's my analogies, okay? I'm welcome to have my own thoughts, so put whatever yours are gonna be in there, all right? So this was huge because the huge theme, bipartisan, this was Republican and Democrats, okay? Bipartisan, it hurts my mouth. But this mental health, once it started to affect a senator's child, a congresswoman's child, once all of a sudden, the rest of us sad blokes, that have been begging for help for years, now all of a sudden it starts to happen to them. Now it's an issue. And you hate to hear that, but that's the long story short, okay? So what happened? Who was my posse on the Hill last year? ACOG. Where's my dear friend? Tiffany Moore-Simus, okay? She and I, like BFFs in the postpartum world. ACOG, Rachel Tetlow, AAP, American Academy of Pediatrics, Tamara McGarrick, and then the March of Dimes, Jamie Vickery, who's actually a California native, and I know we do partnerships with March of Dimes out here as well. Definitely made a concerted effort, and part of it was some leadership within these private orgs had been affected, their own daughters had been affected by postpartum, so now we're starting to see different recommendations. Anyone that saw Dark Side of the Full Moon, anyone see that? What happened when Jen Silliman kept calling ACOG? Did they pick up the phone? No, well, they're picking up the phone now, and now they actually have a particular stance on how this is. And the recommendation, although not across the board, is that these screenings should happen, and not, oh, you know what, you totally register high on this EPDS. We have no services for you. But yeah, you have to screen and treat. So that was part of the bill. Education, screening, treatment, community support models, no less than 3 states to apply for the funding. Okay, this was huge, and $5 million. Okay, great. So Joy, thank you. You put all that on there. I just said that the long way. All right. So the funding now here we are. Anyone who remembers the Mothers Act that got passed in 2009, okay, Carol Blocker, who I talked to, all right, she's fabulous. She's still been raising Story. And these are issues we've been talking about federally and state level for years now. But when I was still in high school, I didn't even know about babies or any of these other things. And here I am on the other side. That you've got to go after the funding. That's great. You want to file a bill. God bless you. It's great you want to file a bill. It's great that you get it passed. But if you don't go dialing for dollars, nothing's going to happen. Samantha, I love you. Samantha's like, where's the money? Where's the money? That's it. But that's what it comes down to. Where's the money? So never mind the side show going on TV right now and the SNL highlights and all this stuff. Here is where the rubber meets the road, right? Is when you go to your congressional representatives, go to your state level representatives. Oh my gosh, isn't this amazing? California's got this commission. And did you know there's a federal bill that's going to get us the money? And it's like, oh, there's money? Okay, how do we get the, and then you go that way. You want to get people excited, you know, where's the money? Follow the money trail. The money's available. So when we're working on that, I'm going to highlight a couple of things that we did last year. We worked on the Safe Medications Act. We testified in a congressional briefing on that to talk about not taking people off of their medications, okay? Because there needs to be a consolidated database of information for folks to use that across the board. So we did work on that. We also worked on the breast milk and formula, bringing that through the airport. So you're not like getting your pump broken or getting the formula dumped, those types of things. We were involved in that because that definitely is a stressor, right? Okay, that's a huge stressor. We were like totally awesome on the Hill because we helped get the 21st Century Cures Act passed with the postpartum. And we now have a seat at the table with the mental health liaison group. Those are all policy, anyone and everyone involved in mental health in DC. We are the only ones representing this field. We are it. We are it. And we're at the table. And we are newly invited to the Congressional Maternity Care Caucus that's been around for about a year now. And that's bipartisan. We're working with Jamie Herrera Butler, which is a female mom of 2 out of Washington, Seattle area, and then it's Representative Roy Allard, who I think is LA, right? September, am I right about that? Yeah. So in your own HUD. So you can even go just dial up her office and go hang with her and tell her what you guys are doing, okay? It's an incredible opportunity to have a seat at that table. And the other thing we just got today, I was saying to Joy, is we've been invited to sit and meet with the newly reinvigorated Congressional Mental Health Caucus because there, again, is no voice about maternal mental health at the table. These have not been involved in any conversation. So we really are making an impact. I'm very, very excited about that. I wanted to just go back to what Dan Smith from Maryland with that fabulous mid-coast accent was saying that, okay, you've made the recommendations and you've got the research, now what? There are going to be budget constraints till the cows come home. It just depends where people want to put the dollars, right? If you create a grassroots movement to show that this is an ongoing issue all year long and not just during a resistance movement or when it affects somebody that you know, but this is a continual issue, and they know that you're a voter in their district, this will become an issue. And again, I want to go back to the fact it's bipartisan. 9 out of 10 times when you talk, it's like, it was my wife, it was my sister, oh my gosh, I think my mother had this, it was a friend of mine, my best friend's wife went through this, and so this is a life issue. This is not a red or a blue issue. This is not a black and white issue either, is it? No, this is an everybody issue, okay? And we aren't talking about the dad's part, we're talking about the mom's part with the postpartum depression and the psychosis and the infanticide in the larger envelope of what this encompasses, okay? But use your voice, do not be intimidated. I want to say that you can't afford not to address this issue. We're looking at about $22,000 a year per mom and baby that you're expending on medical costs, that if you were to even take that and cascade it out and take a look at behavioral health issues, and again, we need like a week-long camp, Joy, for us to talk about these things, okay? So I wanted to point all those things out. Coming from Massachusetts, the MCPAP for Moms program, and if you want to check that out, it's mcpap4moms.org. That is an incredible program that looks like it has about 50 people running it, and it really is a very small amount of folks. We have 3 full-time or potentially part-time, maybe now full-time psychiatrists answering the phone calls, and it's running at about $600,000 a year, and it is subsidized partially by Department of Mental Health, so it ends up being about $300,000 a year, and they have serviced over about approximately 2,500 moms at this point in time. Okay, how can you argue against having something like that? I really don't know. I really can't say how you can take a look at insurance costs of mom not being able to go to work if that's part of the case, dad taking time off or the partner taking time off and the child being sick, et cetera, to say, really, if you were to just take a look at the fact that this is an independent economy, is fairly fascinating to me in California. I think you're able to take the dollars and cents to make that case. All right, as we're moving on. That was, oh my God, look at that. That's us in DC last year. It was so exciting. Come with us this year. Come. All right, and save the date. So our advocacy days will be the 17th and 18th. We'll have a congressional briefing on what programs can bring to the table for states to educate the congressional offices about what that looks like. We'll have a networking reception that evening, and then the actual bring your squishy shoes to the Capitol Day will be the 18th, where we will be running around meeting with the senatorial offices and the congressional offices, district-related. That's when you bring your stories, you bring your materials, and we make that impact to continue to keep mental health on the table. So I want to say I'm here to talk to you after, if anyone has any ideas, and I want to send mad love to those who came to life in front of me today and off of social media, and I look forward to meeting everyone else I haven't had an opportunity to. So thank you, Joy, and thank you, everyone. All right.